All right, guys, welcome to another episode of Growing Through Your 30s. I'm Carmen, and today it is just Tristy and I. We're doing a one-on-one. She is super anxious, I'm sure, with all of the questions that I didn't tell her I'm going to ask. So Tristy and I are very similar. I think we're both kind of that type A planning personality. We don't like to go into things without having something ready.
Right.
And so Tristy was asking me about, are you going to ask the same questions as Maddie? Like, what are you going to ask? And I'm like, ooh, it's a surprise. Sit there freaking out just a little bit because I just want to hear what just comes to you.
Right. And I think some of it, too, is I don't like the spotlight on me. So when we have the other girls here, I feel like I can just sit back
Blend in a bit.
And pipe up. But then I get lost in the conversation, so it flows easy, too. So I was nervous about that.
This is just all about you. Spotlight on Tristy.
Oh.
Okay, so what questions have you planned in your head? I know you had to sit here and think about the questions I was going to ask. So which ones are you ready for? Let's get those ones out of the way.
Oh, gosh. I guess I didn't think about questions other than I knew you had asked her like for a 60-second wind down or recap of her life.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, gosh, how am I going to fit into everything in 60 seconds? And where should I go and what should I do? But then you told me not to worry about it, so I didn't really plan. And okay,
so. I was just checking to see if you had anything you were just like ready up there. I didn't want it to disappear in the middle of the moment. No. So I was like, okay, let's get it out. So what I did with Maddie, that 60-second, hey, just give us a rundown of your life. So picture your life as a timeline, and the little ticks that would be on there, give us those of Tristy's life.
Oh, gosh, okay. So I am the oldest of 3 kids, 2 younger brothers. One is my full brother, one is my half brother, so we're 2 years apart and then 10 years apart. My parents got a divorce when I was in first grade, and we moved back here. So I've lived here ever since.
Where did you live before that?
So my dad was in the Navy, so I was actually born in Long Beach, California. And
I don't think I knew that about you.
Okay, and then we moved to Japan for
You lived
2
in
years.
Japan?
Yeah. I went to preschool there on the Navy base.
That's
my brother
so
was almost
cool.
born there. Like, my mom came back here to have him in the States, and then we went back. But then we moved to Virginia for kindergarten.
I hear Virginia is super pretty.
Yeah.
I want to visit there someday.
Yeah. I remember we went to, I remember seeing the Lincoln Memorial, and like we did all kinds of fun stuff. Yeah. But then they got a divorce, and so then we moved back here, and I started first grade here, and then I've lived here pretty much ever since. So, that's, it's kind of one of those, like, I feel like I traveled a whole bunch as a kid, and then, was kind of stuck here.
First grade,
Yeah, and then just lived here, and, I guess I got out when I went to college and lived out of town for a few years, but then I moved back again. And
it was just Emporia, right? So 60 minutes.
Yeah.
60 minutes away.
And then I was just at that phase where it was so, like, I didn't know what I wanted to do. Like, I thought I wanted to be a teacher. Like, I was set on being a first grade teacher. And I just remember taking an intro to teaching course. It was kind of like all the can'ts and the shouldn'ts and the don'ts. And I remember just being so deflated by that I just lost the passion. I don't know. I can't explain it. And I did.
Well, it's lucky that you had that in college.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like I'm going through that now, and I'm like, God, I want to go back to college. But,
yeah. And so then I took a year of just doing kind of prerequisites and just doing stuff, and
like
then
the gen eds of everything. Yeah.
And then I thought, okay, I'm going to move down to Texas where my dad lives in San Antonio. I'm going to move with him, and then I didn't get to because I got pregnant with Logan, and so sometimes I would wonder, like, what would my life have been like if I would have moved down there and changed things up?
Yeah,
but
would have been different. We wouldn't have been here probably.
Right. I know. Yeah, it's crazy.
So okay, had Logan. Anything after that?
Gosh, well then met Matt, my husband, when Logan was 2.5. His dad and I split up.
Early?
Yeah, Logan's dad and I split up right before his second birthday. Yeah. We split up. And then that Christmas, I think, is when, did I meet him that Christmas, or was it the next year? I know. Pretty sure Matt helped. We were dating by his 3rd birthday, because I was thinking that he helped me celebrate his 3rd birthday.
Wow. Mm-hmm. It feels like yesterday, like, it doesn't seem like 7 years ago, however many years ago it was.
Right. Gosh.
I know.
I know,
Time
yeah.
flies.
It does. So it's, yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
met him, and then we started dating, and then we got married in 2016. We bought our house in 2019. And then a few months after that, we found out we were having a baby together. And then so Emmerich was born January of 2020.
And then pandemic, and now we're here.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Gosh, that wraps that one up. Okay,
Yeah.
so I have to ask the
Mhm.
chicken question that Maddie was sitting here freaking out about in her head. She was looking out at the chickens in the yard, and she goes, "If you were a chicken, would you be one out there in the grass eating, or would you be in the chicken coop laying your eggs? So which type of chicken would you be?"
Gosh, I don't know.
know.
Maybe a little bit of both. Depends on the day. Depends on my mood. If I want to be inside doing nothing and just chilling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, have you ever dreamed that you were an animal?
No, I don't think
No,
so.
always human. Okay.
Yeah.
Just wondering. If you could be on any reality show, what show would you be on?
I always liked The Amazing Race.
Yeah?
I always felt like that would be.
I don't know if I've watched it.
Oh,
Was it you that told me that Brian and I should be on The Amazing Race?
I don't remember.
It had to be.
Maybe
I don't know who
might
else
have
watched
been.
it that way. You're like, you guys should be on The Amazing Race.
I know. Matt wants to do Survivor so badly. I could never do that.
Matt.
'Cause I know. I don't know.
I can't picture
we
him.
love watching it
Yeah.
and like getting into that. And The Amazing Race, I haven't watched in years probably.
Yeah.
But I really liked doing it. I felt like it'd be so fun to travel all over,
Yeah.
like do these crazy things. But it would be hard too with whoever you're traveling with, because it's like everyone always seems to like go at it and bicker
Yeah.
and like get in these fights. But then the heights things would get me, because I don't have a fear of heights. I
Mhm.
have a fear of falling.
Okay.
So I'm fine in an airplane. I'm
Yeah.
fine in like roller coasters.
Yeah.
But I'm terrified of Ferris wheels.
Yeah?
I'm terrified of standing on like bridges, like not like small bridges, but like high
Yeah.
places, or anything where I can like, someone could push me.
Yeah.
Like I don't know why
Oh,
someone
yeah.
would push me, but like I'm so afraid
Man.
of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I kind of get that way on heights also.
Mhm.
Like, there's that roller coastery thing, or
Mhm.
I guess it's not a ride, but it's whatever. They strap you in, and you're like laying down. I did it with my dad and my sister, and they pull you up, and then you like release the
Or, like,
string
a
and go
bungee
flying.
kind of. Yeah.
Kind of. I mean,
yeah.
it wasn't straight bungee jumping. I
But
mean, you more swing.
yeah.
And I remember they wanted, because we had to even it out, so my dad had to be in the middle, and
Yeah.
my sister on the outside, and they wanted me to be the person to pull that cord and
Oh,
drop it. I'm like,
gosh.
are you kidding me? Like, I'll do this, but I don't want to pull the cord.
Yeah.
But if we die, I would have been the one that pulled the cord, which I would be dead and it wouldn't matter. But still,
Right.
like
I'd
I
be
was
a
like, no.
murderer.
So Heather had to step up and pull the cord. But I get
Oh,
that.
that's funny. Yeah.
Sometimes on is it the Ferris wheel
Yeah.
that like you get to the top when it starts rocking.
Mhm.
But I'm over here looking at like, oh my god, this rusty screw is gonna come unscrewed, and I more don't trust the machine.
Yeah.
Maybe than the height.
See, I like the roller coasters where like you're strapped in
Oh,
and
yeah.
you're encompassed in it, because
Yeah,
I feel
it like goes over the shoulder.
Yeah, I feel secure. But like the wooden ones,
Oh, yeah.
like where
Just
it's
the
just
belt?
a bar.
I know.
Nope, not doing that. I'm gonna fall right over.
I like it. Hey, while we're talking about fears, any other fears?
That would be my biggest one for sure. For a while there, I had like a huge fear of mice.
Okay.
Because in college, the like house that I lived in, it was like, an old house that they'd split up into 5 apartments,
Mm-hmm.
and it was apparently infested with mice. And here I am, a young
Terrible.
college kid, like
Yeah.
I didn't understand or know, and
Yeah.
I remember like seeing a mouse
Yeah.
and like finding mouse droppings, but not understand or comprehending what they were.
Yeah.
And then finally, when it like I was educated on the mice, like
yeah.
then I was just terrified, like that they
Yeah.
were coming and like bed at night and like
Oh,
biting
yeah.
me
Like,
or
gonna
like
get
eat
you?
me and like
Did
so.
you ever see them?
I saw one once when it was dark, like I was watching TV on the couch, and I saw one like run under the couch
Woo!
and like scared me to death. And then I would get the traps where it's like the plastic ones where it like spins shut.
Okay.
So you can't see them inside, but if
Yeah.
it's triggered, it just automatically locks them inside. So
Okay.
those were the only ones
And
I
then
got.
they were alive and you had to deal with it?
No, it shut them inside the box. You just threw the box away.
Oh,
I don't know how.
Were they murdered?
It killed them. I don't know how.
Were you throwing away live
it
mice?
I know. It caught them inside. Like,
yeah.
So I didn't want to do the ones where I had to see them or anything like that. And then it was just like, then I got with Logan's dad, and he had mice in his house, and he would get the sticky traps. So then they're sitting there stuck on the traps, and they're screaming like, oh I couldn't do them. So I don't care now, because we, when did we, it was last year, probably, well, maybe, I don't know when it was, because Emmerich wasn't born yet, because it was probably last year, right before he was born. We had 2 in our basement, and they ended up, getting caught. Like, we took care of them and threw them out, but it was like, I was just like,
bring back PTSD of the mice.
Yeah, it was just like, whatever. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, other than that, just, I don't know.
Yeah.
Normal mom anxiety fears of your babies.
Yeah. We talked about that with Maddie too. Like, just scared you're messing your children up.
Yeah.
Totally get it. Okay. 3 biggest changes to achieve some goals in the next 3 years.
Oh gosh. Well, I mean, Matt and I have really been working on like our marriage and like improving communication and, doing that stuff. So I really, plan to keep working on that and like getting us to a good place there. Finances, that's something that we have been trying to work on in the past and try to do like the Dave Ramsey course and like got started on and then just kind of got away from it.
I know.
So I really want to get back on track with doing that. It's just, I think he's kind of still that independent, wants to kind of keep, You guys
have separate finances.
Yeah, we do and don't. Like, I'm responsible for like most of the paying most of the bills. Like, he'll pay like whatever the auto payments, like Netflix, things like that. But like, the house payment, the utilities, that kind of stuff, like I'm responsible to get those taken care of because he's just not good with that kind of stuff.
But he
contributes.
Okay,
yes. But I would like, to have one just, solid plan and just kind of one bank account and that kind of stuff. Yeah. But
so, like, when we were listening to the Bobby Bones show, Ray was talking about, what is it, the 80-20 rule or something like that, where 80% of your paycheck goes into the joint account and then 20% of your own paycheck is, like, your account.
Right.
I kind of like that idea. Like, Cody and I straight shared everything, and I had to have a separate account to store money away because he would spend so much. And I'm like, well, like, he would run through, we had our own, like, budgets, kind of like allowance, basically worked into our budget, and he would blow through his and be out of town working and be like, oh, I need some gas money again. And so I had to start storing some away for that. So I don't necessarily want to jump back in. Not that Brian's bad with money. I think that he's very good with it. But I wouldn't mind something like that where we all contribute and pay the bills and stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense. And that's better than doing something. I know people have talked about like the secret. Oh, I have a secret account. And it's like, I don't feel like that necessarily that extreme. But being able to just have that understanding.
Cody knew about the account. He just didn't have access to that account because he knew. Sure. And he was fine because he knew he would spend it too. Like, it was an agreement. It's like, we know. We need the backup. Yeah,
Matt's kind of the same way. I just don't think he thinks about money as much, and so we'll blow through things a little faster than he's not future oriented for sure.
No,
so that's hard.
That's a tough one. That was Cody too.
Yeah,
I don't mind. Like right now, Brian just sends because he lives here, so he just sends a little bit of money to help with the bills to me, and then I pay all the stuff. So he gives me his contribution, and I pay him. I don't mind that. Like, and then we just still have our own money after that. That doesn't bother me. That's pretty good.
Sure.
Okay, so we've got working with the marriage with Matt, and then the finances. What else?
Okay.
One more.
And then probably just what we've been working on myself, physical, I need to work on physical, mental aspect of
wellness.
Me and self-wellness.
I know. That's a good one.
Yeah.
And that's rewarding. I feel like we feel that ourselves. The others can sometimes rely on other people, especially your marriage one and finances. Yeah.
So my thing right now is just finding the time. It's like I loved, when I can work out and I enjoyed it before I got pregnant. Like I was loving it and having a blast, but it's just, even now it's just like, man, and maybe it's just the time of the year because it gets dark so soon that it's like, oh man, it's too late.
And it's cold to work outside sometimes and stuff. It does affect it.
Yeah, so that's hard. So I'm kind of hoping that once we start getting into nicer weather, that'll be a little bit different.
And we just need to get back
bad.
to scheduling it, because honestly, once it's in there, we're like, okay, we have this, and it is
like,
I don't have any time. I'm the same.
I know, and I think too, it's just the past few weeks with my job, like I said, being there so late, and then so like Wednesday when you're like, are you coming? It's like, oh, I hadn't planned for it today, and then I'm here so late, and it's just like I just don't have time, and then I didn't have a car because it's so cold that my car wasn't working this week. It's working now fine. Like, we got it jumped and it's working, but I guess it just was like, I'm not.
So do you need a new battery or something, or is it just...
It was fairly new. So it just, I don't know. It just was so cold. It wasn't starting.
That's one of those annoying adult things.
Yeah, but we jumped it the other day and it's been running. It's started every single time since then.
Cross my fingers.
Yeah.
Okay. If you could change one thing about yourself, what would it be?
We just talked about this in therapy yesterday.
Ooh.
Probably my need for like perfectionism, and like what I admired most in Matt is how he is just so carefree, and like I don't. It's hard to get that.
Yeah.
You know,
we can hope to meet in the middle, but I get it. I'm the same. Like when I got home, the house being a mess, I'm like, oh, why do I care so much? Why does it bother me so much? But
and just that, because I think because I am that perfectionist, that I see, like you said, I do class myself as a pessimist as well. I can't come in and be like, oh, wow, this is what's positive and optimistic about this situation. Yeah. I zone in on that, well, this is wrong, and this is why it's wrong. And
I think that I am very critical because of the perfectionism, but I feel like I'm an optimist.
Yeah.
But sometimes annoyingly so.
Yeah.
I know people with that. I'm like, wait, do you want the positive? Do you just want me to listen? Like, I have to see what the other person needs.
Right.
Because if not, I'll just be like, well, this is a good thing. And that sometimes can come off wrong. I'm like, oh, sorry. Okay, if you could change one thing about your career, what would it be? Let's remind everybody.
Right. So, I am newly, I guess, a business assistant at a dental office. So I maintain the front desk and schedule appointments, for the doctor and the hygienist.
New title, but you've been doing this
Yes,
for a while.
I've been doing this for 7 years now, but new company took over and came in, and they've retitled me. Before then, I was just like a front desk person. And so I deal that, answer phones, do insurance, and that sort of thing. So that wasn't my plan going in. Once I figured out that I didn't want to be a teacher, it took me a while to get to dentistry. And then someone had mentioned that to me, and I thought, oh, I'll be a dental hygienist. Maybe that's something I could do. But that had a lot of schooling, and it was apparently a very competitive field, like program.
Yeah.
And I had Logan at the time when I realized I wanted to do this, and so I was like, well, okay, I'll try my best. And so then
I think Tiffany went through dental hygienist school.
Oh, really? Okay. I stopped and like went back a notch and was like, I'll be a dental assistant, and I'll try to get some experience. And it was kind of the catch-22 of, well, you need experience to come into this program, but then no one will hire you if you don't have experience. And so I was like, how do you do this?
I always thought it went hygienist, then dental assistant.
Well, so a hygienist is the person that like cleans your teeth, and a dental assistant assists the doctor.
I thought you had to have more experience to do that because it was the doctor stuff.
Right. Yeah. You're assisting the doctor. He's doing all the work. True. You're just getting him the instruments basically. And like, yeah. And so, I was going to do that, and I did. That's what I got hired on to do. But I didn't do a full legit program through a school. I did a program through another dental office, in Wichita, and it ended up being more a 3-month course instead of like,
that's nice.
9-month course. But it wasn't, it was just hard because it was generic to like all of us that was there. It wasn't like one-on-one, and like, so when I went into the office, it was, it was a surprise for both of us that I didn't know as much as they had said that I knew how to do. Yeah. And so I did that for a year, and then I decided to kind of move up front to the front desk, and that was more my niche for sure.
I really like organizing things and being in charge, that kind of stuff. I think I would like doing something like that.
Yeah, so I think that's why I like it, because I'm, in charge and I'm doing this. Whereas, like, as an assistant, it was fun, but there's just the unknowns of okay, we're not doing this anymore. Now we have to go do this. And so then it's that shock of being, I wasn't prepared to do that. And now I've got to do this. So it was hard. But I had always planned, once Logan's in school, I'll go back to be a hygienist. But, I like my position that I'm in, and I like what I do. If I could probably change that, I would just Truly, I think I would just like to just be home with my kids, you know, and I know I did that with Logan when he was little. I got to spend like the first 2 years home with him.
Yeah.
But it was just different. Like we weren't married, and it was just so new to me, and you know, it was just different. But I feel like I could just be home and like, you know, just to stay at home mom and just do stuff. I feel like I'd enjoy that. But I would miss, like, it's such a different from having Logan as a baby to having Emmerich as a baby, because
different time of your life.
Yeah, like I said, I wasn't working, so I was home with him every day, and I didn't have like a good support system. I didn't have friends around. It was just so different. Now it's like, oh yeah, completely the opposite
prime of your life
schedule.
Right now.
Yeah. So I don't know. I guess I just haven't thought too much about it. I'm just content where I'm at.
Yeah,
but
well, it's good that you like
to do
that position and everything that you do have now.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
You work 4 days a week instead of 5, so that gives you an extra one at home. So that's good.
So yeah.
Okay. 1 out of 10, how happy are you right this second? I asked Maddie that. She was like a 7 or 8, I think, at the time. I was like, whoa!
Right. Gosh.
And it can be just in life right now. It doesn't have to be sitting here having a podcast.
Right. Yeah. In this moment of my life. Yeah. I guess things are going pretty good. So yeah, I'd probably say a 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. That's pretty high.
You know, we don't have, like I said, got a new, the new stuff with work going on, so that's kind of crazy, but it's absolutely great.
Yeah.
I mean, the boys are doing great, and Matt.
It's a good place to be.
Got a good, good steady stuff going on right now. So,
what are at least 2 things that you're just putting up with in life right now?
Putting up with.
You're just allowing it to happen, and really you should stop it or fix it, or what is just something that you're just putting up with? Does that make sense?
Gosh. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like that's hard for me because I'm not a no person in general anyways. So, for people to just, for things to just happen and for stuff, there's probably a lot that but I can't. My first thought was my husband. That's kind of funny.
I know. I was thinking
my husband.
I was like Matt. I just in general. I was thinking like the gambling or poker.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I don't know.
I think that's a big one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know, and I don't know if there's another one or not, but.
What is like your proudest moment of your life so far? Like, what is something you were just absolutely proud of?
I mean, gosh, of course having my sons.
Yeah.
But my first thought, I guess, was probably buying our house.
Yeah.
You know?
It's a big step.
Yeah.
It's a lot of paperwork signing away your life. Like,
yeah.
It's intense.
Yeah. And we had been, I had been wanting to do that for years. I hated the house that we were renting. It was just, just junk. And so I kept the whole day dreaming of, let's go look at this house. Let's go look at that house. And then, now that one's sold. Now that one's sold. It's like we never jumped on the gun to like actually do it. And then when we finally did, it was just like, great, and it happened so fast. It was like, within days of, like we went and looked at it in January, and then by February 14th, it's like we had, we had it. So it was like even just looking at it within like 2 days of looking at it, we had put an offer, and like got it going. And
that would be hard for me to choose something as big as a house within a cut. Like for it to be such a fight or competition with the housing market, I would need like a week to sit on it. Well,
and all the houses we had been looking at, it was like, I hated them. And Matt always finds the light in everything. It was like, what about this? What about this? I'm like, but I don't like this about it. Like, I don't want to buy a house and have to live in a tiny kitchen or have this old, and we kept looking at older models. And finally our realtor, she was like, I think I know what you guys want. I think you guys want a newer model. Let's go look at this one. And it's like, I'm always scared to like jump in like full force with things like that, but like Matt had, it was like I did really like it, and it was like, okay, it's not the perfect house, but it's perfect for us right now, and and I do like it, and so he just and he pushes me in that extra bit that I need. That's good. So
that's perfect. What's one thing that you feel 100% confident in yourself about? Like, what is the thing you're most confident about yourself? Like I asked a client this the other day, and their answer was cooking. Like they're just really good at cooking.
Oh gosh.
They're like a good chef.
Yeah.
I think mine would be that no matter what I set my mind to, I'm going to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. That's what annoys me. If you say you're going to do something,
that's a pet peeve.
Follow it through.
If you
can't follow through, then be upfront about that and say something. Yeah.
Agreed.
So I would say that, that I'm always willing to help people if I can. And being a good mom for sure. I mean,
that's a good one to be proud of.
And if I don't know, then I'm going to find the answer out and I'm going to educate myself and, just gain more knowledge. Like I'm always, up for getting more information and knowledge out of things for sure.
Yeah. I like that. Dream world. What does Tristy's dream world look like? Stay at home mom.
Right.
Where would you live?
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like when I'm dreaming at night. Like, what do my dreams look like?
No, like your dream life. What is your dream life?
Gosh,
no restrictions.
Know, right?
What would it be? So we know stay at home mom.
Yeah, stay at home mom. I want to be able to like remodel our house, and I have so many fixer upper ideas to do to change it, and like I want to get going on that. And
is that the house like dream world?
Well,
that would be the house you stayed in.
I don't. No, I mean we probably need a bigger house. Maybe a little more space would be nice. A bigger backyard.
Definitely, your backyard's small with the dogs.
It's small
and stuff.
And it's just not ideal at all.
Would you live here in town? Would you stay here?
Probably just because I know it and I'm safe and secure here. Like when I go, and this I think goes back to like my heights thing. When I go to out of town to places that like isn't flat, it freaks me out.
Does it?
Like we go to like Branson and we're driving on these crazy roads and I'm like, I can't do this. Like this is too much turns and too much up and down. And like when we go to Colorado, it's like, okay, this is pretty, but I don't think I would want to live here necessarily. Yeah. So I don't know. I like the flat. And I know that that's, not a big, but I would love to just travel to places and then
to visit,
come home and just be, content here. But
yeah,
I would love to have, just more space and like be able like to have, our garage, be able to use that.
Park in
have
it.
Another place to put all of our junk,
Right.
And space for the kids and,
that's good.
Yeah, and just be able to like, as I do enjoy cooking, like I wouldn't say I'm amazing at it, but having the time throughout the day, and that goes back to being able to stay home. Like when I come home at 5:30, 6 o'clock at night, it's like not ideal to be able to like make dinner, and then Emmerich has to be in bed by 7:30, so it's like, okay, I really don't have time to do much. So I do miss
eat
that.
a late dinner. Like before Brian, we would eat like with my parents often and stuff, and they ate at like 4:30, like old ladies, but everybody went to bed early. Like there was a time in my life where I went to bed at like 8:30 or 9. Yeah. Like I don't know how I became that person. Now I've always been a night owl, so I don't know how I became this person who went to bed at 8 or 9. I mean, I could still sleep in. I mean, love sleeping in.
Yeah.
But now I'm still up at 11 or up till 11 at least.
Yeah. Sometimes I think too, like maybe I need to get Matt on board to help with bedtime more because I'm so used to doing it because I was nursing and I still kind of am, like at least right before he goes to bed, top him off a little bit if he wants to. But because my thought is, okay, I could just feed him something else and then I could make the rest of us what I was going to make, but instead I'm like, oh, I'm going to have to feed us all the same thing. And it's like, well, there's nothing wrong with giving him leftovers or something.
Right.
Get him in bed by 7,
Matt could be doing bedtime while you're cooking.
Yeah. You know, and so that's what I
maybe just bringing that up to him and having that conversation. That would be good.
Yeah. Because he's really good about doing that 6. When like we're out, when we're working out or whatever, he'll take on that role. But when I'm home, I guess it's just, we need to do better about.
Yeah. We don't eat dinner now. We don't even start cooking till like 6:30.
Yeah.
Just because we go from work to the Y and work out or work, and then by the time we get home, it's 6:30.
Yeah.
It seems late.
And that's something that Logan brought up the other day. His bedtime is 9. It's always been 9 for as long as I can remember. And I don't know why, but he brought up that at school the other day that his PE teacher, Coach B, told him that he shouldn't be going to bed until like 9:30 or 10.
Did he really?
And that's why I don't get enough REMs, Mom. Or I get too many REMs or something, and that's why I'm tired in the morning. And I'm like, wait a minute.
What is Coach B? So I know, like, when Coach B was gone for that week, finally he was feeling better and could teach from home. And so he did, like, a sleep lesson at home, but he was never at school for us to talk about it. He's just like, hey, I'm going to do a lesson with half the kids.
Okay.
So that I only had one class in the gym instead of 2, and it was, thank goodness he did that. That took so much stress off me. But then when he got back, because that was one of his last days at home, then when he came back, he took the other group and did that, but him and I still never talked about what he even taught them. So I just know it was over sleep. So I have no idea. I'm totally gonna bring it up to him that he told him to stay up later.
Because immediately he was like, Mom, this isn't me trying to stay up late or anything, but this is the situation. And I was like, okay, Logan, when you think about it, you get in bed at 9. Like, you're probably not asleep at 9.
Man, if he hits the pillow and shuts his eyes and he's asleep.
That's Matt. But no, like, sometimes, like, it's 9:15 before you're actually ready to get in bed, you know?
Right.
So I just thought it was, because he tries to do that all the time.
Funny.
If I go to bed late, I can wake up early, no problem. But when I go to bed, on time, then I'm so tired in the morning. And I'm like,
Don't you love the arguments
you're
that
still
kids come up with?
Bud. Like, I
love the excuses. Like, kids will come up and give me excuses, and I'm like, oh, that was a good one. Anything, like, what else you got? I'm not falling for that one. You got another one? And they'll hit me with another, and I'm like, that's getting better. Sometimes they'll hit me with such a good one. Gosh. That I know it's fake, but I'm like, okay, I'll let you have this one. Like, that was excellent work.
Oh,
A for effort. Go sit out if you want. Like, because kids want to sit out for like they come up with all sorts of stuff. So funny.
I don't think I ever did that.
I didn't. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I was a good student.
No way. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. What are your current emotional tendencies? Like, what do you feel most days?
Gosh. My first thought was anxiety, but it's not as bad as it has been over the years. So I don't even know. Just that, gosh, I don't know. I almost just feel like I'm on an autopilot most days. So it's like, okay, get up, do this, do that. Rushing, like I hate being late, so I'm constantly like trying.
I always feel
better.
Like a chicken with its head cut off throughout the week because school's so hard right now, and then working another job, and then sometimes doing the Coach Carmen after that. Like, it's, I feel like you said, just autopilot almost. And so it's hard to take the time to really stop. I've been working on being more mindful. Typically, I'm a pretty happy person. Lately, school's been a little much, so that's been stressing me out, and I'm anxious too. But like when I did my feelings log, like every day I would color a different box, the colors of the feelings, and there were only like 4 or 5, like a happy, a sad, anxious, whatever. I was almost always happy.
Yeah.
But I think this COVID school year has really, like, if I were to track it now, it would be more anxious and stressed. But trying really hard to get back to that happy.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
What's something you're passionate about?
I don't know. Passionate about
teeth. Told you hit me with that. You'd wake up and brush your teeth if you forgot. So every night I'm like, oh man, I can't let Tristy down. I gotta brush my teeth like for the full 2 minutes. I should text her every night, like, hey, like,
yeah, for sure. And I mean, I guess my train of thought too, when you said that, was just it makes me think of when we were doing our comparison of people who were like, I'm good, like just being good and like honest and like
just a neutral,
just that, like,
straight good
like,
person.
Yes, like there's no way that I'm gonna like go against the authority
your morals
of the
and
law,
stuff.
morals. Yeah, like I just I don't know, but yeah. So I don't know, passionate. And that's it too. It's like maybe I lack that passion, because some people I'll look and they'll just be so passionate about things, and I'm like,
yeah,
I don't know. I'm just
really
here,
like Harry Potter. I mean, you've got wands and books. And
yeah. Right now, it's like I'm really passionate. I guess I'm into all these these true crime stuff. Like I just listened to one whole Crime Junkies podcast. I'm all caught up on with that. So that comes out weekly. I just started a Morbid podcast. Your little
man.
So now
I do like all the little tips and random facts. Yeah, that you text us. But for a while I watched those like crime shows on TV before bed and stuff, but then I was having terrible anxiety that someone was gonna bust into my home and murder and rape me. And I'm like, I cannot have these dreams right now, or like these fears. I gotta stop watching it. And it went away, thankfully.
Yeah, and I completely can see that. I started them about October, so it's like Halloween time anyway. So I'm like driving to work and I'm like looking around like, is like Jason gonna be standing there, Mike Myers, you know?
What's the one? Okay, so the High School Musical person that Maddie really likes. What's
Zac
his name?
Efron?
Yes. What's the one that he played?
Ted Bundy.
Yeah, those ones. So like I watched those because they had 2 or 3 on Netflix of the series, and I would be scared. Like, is the next Ted Bundy gonna find? Like, am I some murderer's type? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think listening to them, I'm the same way. And I'm like, how is this? Like, how are we alive? Like listening to some of the stories about like these college girls. I texted my college friend. And I'm like.
Terrifying.
Thank goodness we're alive.
I walked around all over the city. Drove off
our asses.
Just like, crazy.
Oh my god.
Thank God there wasn't a serial killer in Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Like, I don't even know.
I would just have terrible fears of serial killers. And I don't know what the statistics are. It can't be that high.
I don't
like
either,
the likelihood of dying from a shark compared, you know, like. But it still was that random fear because I had been watching it before bed. It was stupid.
But I'll tell you what, there's no way I'm going to watch like any paranormal movies, scary movies, stuff like that. Those. I won't do it.
I don't like ghosts. I don't like ghosty things.
I can't do scary movies. And it's like, man.
I just don't want to sit there anxious the whole time.
Yeah.
Like,
that's
nobody needs those feelings. I know.
Why would you do that to yourself? I don't like them. then that's what scares me and that's what keeps me up. I hear
what was that noise?
Yes, or like
someone
I'll
in
see
my attic,
vision in my head, and I'm like, nope. These ones they just creep me out a little bit. That I'm like, I'm just gonna deadbolt the door. Yeah. So Matt comes home and he's like, why is it deadbolted? And I'm like, I don't know. I just locked it.
I'm always like, hey, can you do a door check? And we're like, 1, 2, 3, all lock, you know.
Yeah, Matt doesn't do that. It gets me so mad that he'll just come to bed. And thankfully, like he goes to bed first most nights. Yeah. Or I've just gotten in the habit of I check it before I go to bed no matter what. But like there's been nights where I'm like, this wasn't locked. Like, terrifying. Why did you just go to bed? And like, what the hell? I don't know. But my mom, I think, was what's it called? Where she like has to double check things constantly before we left the house. Like she would OCD. Like she would double check that the stove was off, that the oven was off. She would double check and she would do it like I would see her like in her head be like, okay, off, and she would go back through several times.
Totally OCD.
She was so freaked out about like house burning down or like someone breaking in or. Man. My biological dad was always a pessimist in a way of, hey, make sure that you do this. Like, even my stepdad, we were driving away the other day, and Brian and I were leaving at the same time in the morning, and we both have the different garage door openers, but for some reason they only work on one side. Like, his works on his side, and mine works on my side. Okay. So I pull out of my side, and I shut mine, and he pulls out and just goes, and he's at the end of the block. And I'm like, you left it open. You were just going to go. And I had to actually get out of the car, go in, and shut his garage because I didn't have clicker. As he comes backing down like he was going to get it. I'm like, I already did it. You were literally just going to drive and leave our garage open all day to our, not just into our garage, into our home. You just left it open? Yeah. Twice. And I'm like, my dad taught me, you watch the garage door hit the ground before you can drive away. Yeah, because they've got the sensors. So if something was in the way, or it would go right back
Sometimes I'm like, I'm going to talk to Grandma Sandy about her raising you because I know she raised you better.
Well, we've got the door that leads into the backyard that leads also into the garage, and there's a doggy door on that. So I make sure like that door is locked too. That one he doesn't lock even when we leave. And oh gosh, there was one day. During the summer, our first summer we lived there, I came home at lunch and the door was wide open. Oh my gosh. Terrifying.
Like the one to the house or the one to the backyard?
The one to the house, to the garage. It was wide open. So my first thought was, okay, there's our electric bill because it's the dead of the summer and the the AC is running. Oh my gosh. I was so mad. I'm like, you guys gotta latch it. Make sure it latches. And lock it. But oh man.
Scary. Well, Cody's actually kicked down that garage door, the one that goes to the backyard to the garage.
Oh, man.
Yeah, we were out of town and he knew it. kicked it down and came and just sat on the couch. I honestly don't know. It was right when we were splitting. So, but Brian had to fix it. It was like busted. Like he legit kicked it down. Like he just knew it was weak.
That's crazy.
So,
yeah.
Stupid.
Wow.
Okay. How would people describe you? Others. How would others describe you?
I feel like people have described me as bubbly.
Mm-hmm.
People have described me as just nice and sweet.
Good.
And good. Good.
Tristy's
caring.
Perfectionist.
Right.
I don't know if we would say that in describing you.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think like at work because like every once in a while there'll be someone that'll be like, she was so rude to me. Oh. And my coworkers would be like,
not Tristy.
Who?
Yeah.
Tristy was?
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, no way. And I'm like, I don't know. They're having a bad day, I guess. So yeah, just.
I wouldn't be surprised if someone said that about me though.
Yeah, but basically in a nutshell, I guess. Yeah. I don't know.
That's good. That's
good.
Type A.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're very similar in a lot of ways, I think. So, yeah. An organizer, a planner.
Yeah. Nerd, I guess. Nerdy. I don't know. Yeah. Bookworm, maybe more so.
I feel like Maddie's the nerdiest and you're one step ahead of it. I don't know where that puts, like, I don't know the scale, but you're one step ahead because you still do all the nonfiction reading. Is that what you'd call it? Mm-hmm. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know.
That to me says nerd. But now that I'm saying it out loud, I'm like, wait. I don't know.
Right.
Maybe not.
I don't know.
But.
Because it's like.
I think having like the wands and the.
I know, the Harry Potter stuff. Yeah. And, maybe because she plays video games.
Star Trek, was that you or your dad?
Mm-hmm. That was my dad, yeah. Star Trek, yeah.
Guilty by association.
Right. Right.
I don't know. So yes and no on that one. But. Mm-hmm. Okay. What's it like inside your head? So that means like just a day-to-day, like mine is a voice. I talk to myself a lot. Like it's basically like there's me up there and I'm just sitting there having conversations with myself.
Like Lizzie McGuire.
I don't see, pretty much. It's just the voice, like just talking to myself up there. Okay. Sometimes I'll see like random pictures if I'm like when I'm thinking of my dream house and stuff, I can envision me in it. But for the most part, it's a conversation with myself. But not everybody has that.
Yeah, I don't think I have that.
What do you have?
I do know, like, when I say people's names, I visualize the spelling of their names.
Okay.
So, like, for me, if someone's name, is spelled differently than, like Maddie, for instance, there's probably variations of how to spell Maddie. But
Brian had it spelled wrong in his phone.
Did he?
Mm-hmm. I still don't know if he's changed it.
Yeah. So, like me, I visualize MADI. Like, that's what, when I say people's names, that's how I visualize that. Other than that, I don't know. I don't know if I'm really... I don't talk to myself.
Yeah? Oh, I talk to myself all the time.
Yeah. If I do, I talk to myself out loud.
Yeah.
Yeah, which
I do both.
Is kind of, like if I'm up front working, I'm just like... I just kind of am talking, myself through things sometimes, but more of just like, oh gosh, what is this? Yeah. Who did that?
Yeah, like, okay, so today at my appointment, I stepped out of the car and it was like melty snow. It kind of looked like it could still, and I go, well, that's sloppy. Just right out loud, I'm like, that's a sloppy mess. And then on the way back, I go, ugh, still sloppy. And I, like out loud, I say that weird stuff. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, because I feel like I'm perfectly content on being by myself and being alone.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when like other people are with me and around, like I'm, just I don't. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like there's not much going on in there. Yeah. Now that you're saying it, it's like I feel like there's just not much in there.
Well, you'll be thinking about it. You'll update us after the next podcast. I'll be like, okay, Tristy. Now that you've had to think of it, what's going on up there?
Right.
That's funny.
Okay.
I feel like I used to hate being alone, but now I really enjoy it. I want more alone time because I want to just hang out with myself and do the things that I enjoy doing.
You want to do without having a kid.
I know. It has to be a kid that does it.
I know. It's like watching Maddie's podcast last week, like hearing her say like how hard it is for her when Declan's gone. It was like I was like that when Logan, when it was just Logan and I, when he was gone, it was really hard. Like I immersed myself with, everybody like, hey, let's do this. Let's, hey, what are you doing tonight? Let me come over, because I just, I didn't like being alone. It was just hard. But now that, I think I've got, a house full of boys, that it's like when Emmerich's napping, I'm like, okay, I'm going to watch a little bit. And I don't, like, I end up cleaning or something. But then that's where Matt's like, well, why do you have to do that? Like, just go relax if you want to, or go take a nap, or go watch a movie. Like, why do you have to constantly be doing that?
So,
I'm like, I don't know.
When
get it clean.
I've been really trying to not be as critical. I think since Brian and Peyton moved in and I realized how critical I was of it, that I really started thinking, okay, why do I feel the need to clean so much? And I know my mom was definitely over the top with the cleanliness. And so from that aspect, but my dad was the opposite. Like there would be an inch of dust on things, like it was a mess, very hoarder style. And like we didn't even stay the night there hardly, maybe on weekends, but even then, like it just, we didn't stay overnight a lot. So I'm somewhere in between, but really trying to be mindful of the critical stuff. I'm like, I think I just enjoy having the clean house and being tidy. So it doesn't bother me, the cleaning. Like today, like I said, I woke up and I did the dishes and stuff right away. And that part doesn't bother me. What bothers me is that the other people come and they don't respect the time that I've put in. Yeah. Because I don't mind, like I do enjoy getting the things done and being productive. What bothers me is them leaving me messes and not just caring for it the same way I do.
Right. So, gosh, like right now, Emmerich he's into everything.
Can destroy a room, right?
Like I'll be cooking dinner or something, and he's getting into that drawer and that cabinet and pulling. He loves pulling out my plastic bowls and plastic lids and all of that, and I'll turn around and it's just all over the floor, and it's just like, oh my gosh. And we've got like a Lazy Susan type cabinet, so it's like, how do I put a lock on that?
I have those ones you have to like put on both sides or something, but then you're like drilling into cabinets or doing that gluey stuff.
So I'm like, gotta figure it out. But yeah, just something about having the house clean. It's like, it's just, relief, and it's nice a stress to just have it
to come home to a clean house.
And I don't mind cleaning when no one's gone. So it's like, I try to do that.
I
on the Fridays
when people are gone.
Yeah, when no one's here. So then that way I
pump
can just
up my
get it
jam,
done and
scream at the top of my lungs. Sing at the top of my lungs, and just.
Yeah. See, I don't know why, but I'm not big so much on music anymore. And I think I really noticed it when my dad died, because when we would go down to his house and like try to take care of the house, I just couldn't listen to songs because just certain words or certain things just got me so emotional that's when I started listening to like the Bobby Bones podcast like constantly. And ever since then I've listened to it every day because I was like, I need something else. I can't listen to songs right now. And so it's like, I don't generally just have songs on or the radio on, or anything
I'm
like that.
The opposite.
So I listen to podcasts when I'm cleaning. And
music is life.
It used to be. Yeah. And I don't know. I just gotten kind of away from it.
Yeah. Some people don't listen to music. So, okay. What's the wildest thing you've ever done in your life?
Wildest.
Oh,
gosh. Probably would have been something back in college, right?
I don't know. You tell me.
I know. Wild and crazy. I was pretty wild and crazy in college.
What's the most
friendly
thing to share on the podcast?
Right.
What's your wildest?
What's pretty wild is that my first thought, this wasn't even in college, this was after. It was like me making a move on Matt at your blacklight party, I straight up kissed him. Yeah. We hadn't even gone out on a date or anything yet. And it was just like, I'm just like, bam, I just went for it. Like, I would never have been that type of person before. I would have always like waited for someone to come to me,
Was that, like, do you still feel like you have that, like, wild, like, I'm gonna make the first move energy? That's a one and done?
Oh gosh, I know. I feel like maybe I could, but I've just gotten away from crazy and you know.
Well, now, I'm saying, what was the wildest?
I know. I'm trying to think if there's something else that I've always been. I don't think I've ever just done anything like necessarily made plans and just done it. Like, I've always,
most wild things are not plans.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm trying to think, like, if anything, like, my friends did it, and I'd be like, okay, yeah, I'll go along with that. I'll do that, too. Sure.
Yeah.
You know? I don't know. I was so in Emporia, we could go to the bars when we were 18.
Yeah.
Because
they had a few there.
They had several bars. And so, we would pre-drink.
Yeah.
And then
you had to save money in college.
We would go to the bars. So when I didn't drink in high school.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe I had a couple Smirnoff Ices at prom that one night. So stupid.
I drank a lot on prom
night. It was like one of the first nights. I was a freshman in college, but I worked at Pizza Hut in Emporia, and this time I met my friend Elena, and she's still one of my good friends now, but she lives so far away, so we don't see each other very often. But she was at her apartment, and we were supposed to be pre-drinking so we could go to the bars, and one of her friends, I was like, buy me some Smirnoff Ice, right? Yeah. He comes to her apartment with Smirnoff vodka.
Oh, I was going to guess that, yep.
Not Smirnoff Ice, and I didn't know. Yeah. I had no idea. So they're like, well,
Did you drink it straight? Oh,
dude,
okay.
Yes. What? They said you pour it in this little shot glass, and then you take it. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So here's me. Pour, shoot. Pour,
what?
Shoot.
You could just shoot vodka like
shoot.
that?
It was like vanilla flavored or something.
Oh,
so it was still fancy, but I remember
a
girl, I had no idea who it was, and I still don't know. She's
Yeah.
staring at me like I'm crazy because I'm just throwing
you didn't
that
know
back.
Your limit with it.
I had no idea. I can't
believe
so
they didn't
trashed.
say anything. They probably
I know.
egged it on.
I was trashed before anyone even left for the bar. And
so did they take you with?
No, because I remember going in the bathroom and I fell in the bathtub. I don't remember what we were doing, but I fell in the bathtub, and I'm pretty sure she has a picture of me like in the bathtub. You know. No, they stayed. So Elena and I think one of her friends, Brandy, stayed with me, and everyone else went out, and I just passed out on the couch. Oh man, it was just like I didn't know. I had no
First
idea.
vodka shot. That's wild. I like it.
So yeah, that's funny.
Okay, hang on.
Gosh.
I want to transition to a funny.
Okay.
Funny before we wrap up. We're almost out of time.
Okay.
I have one more serious one I want to ask you before we go.
Okay.
What about the most embarrassing thing of your life?
Embarrassing.
Yeah. Side note: have you had a beverage since you've been done breastfeeding with Emmerich?
Just some of that wine that one of the fill-in doctors gave us.
Yeah.
That, what was it? It was a strong.
I've got some vodka if you want to do some shots. Actually, I don't even think we have vodka.
Oh gosh, that reminded me too. There was another night with the one night that I've blacked out. I've only blacked out once and didn't remember what occurred that night. They were the Red Bull and Jaeger
energy
bombs.
drink.
The Jaeger bombs or whatever they were. Jaeger bombs, yeah. Anyways.
How old were you when that happened?
I was probably another year or two old after that.
Oh, okay.
Like, it was kind of thick into my partying.
Probably the first when the energy drink and
and I just remember we took several Jaeger bombs.
Do you ever drink Four Locos?
No.
Cody and I went hard for a while, sorry. Hard.
So I can't stand the smell of Red Bull since then. And Matt loves Red Bulls. He'll just drink them straight. And I'm like, I just can't. I hate the smell of them.
Okay, back to embarrassing.
What was the question?
Sorry. Most embarrassing thing.
Most embarrassing thing.
Yeah.
Probably, I think we were in like 4th or 5th grade maybe. And we took a field trip to, the Kaufman Museum here in town?
Yeah.
And they had like a scale thing, majigger or whatever on it. And I remember stepping on it. And so I don't remember how much it said I weighed. It was like a crazy number, right?
Yeah.
That it was like, there was no way this was right.
Uh-huh.
But I was kind of, in 4th grade, I started getting made fun of for my weight.
Okay.
They called me whatever, and it lasted like all through middle school, like that I was fat and this and that, and like hardcore. Like it started in 4th grade.
No way.
And I look back at pictures, I'm like, okay, I was a little chubby. But you know what I mean? Then
you weren't in high school. I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know you before that.
So, then it's like 6th grade, I started playing volleyball, and so I probably slimmed up some from that, and then it's kind of puberty, so I probably, whatever. So And it got so bad in middle school at one point that it's like the principal made like the boys that were doing it like write notes to me and like apologize.
People that went to high school?
They were like the class below me. Like it wasn't the boys in our class necessarily, but it was like the class below. I don't even remember.
The audacity of them.
I know. And it was so stupid because what's his name? Weird Al. So they would go, he had like a song like Grapefruit Diet. So they would walk around being like, Tristy needs a grapefruit diet. Like stupid stuff like that.
They're so mean.
But it was so mean. It's like they made them write notes out. They're like, I'm sorry I said you needed a grapefruit diet.
Oh
like,
my God.
Stupid, like, middle school boys would do. But yeah, I look back and I'm like, what the hell? Like, so I was so self-conscious, like, for, even in high school, like, I look back at pictures, I was constantly wearing a jacket because I felt so self-conscious about my weight. But middle
schoolers are really mean.
Yeah. And it was never like the girls. Like, the girls weren't mean to me. I mean, there was one girl that wasn't very friendly, and she was just not nice. But she never, like, was like that. You know what I mean? But if the boys were, like, she would laugh along with them and stuff. Yeah. But... yeah, so I remember just getting on that scale early on, and it was just my classmates, and like someone like being like, "No, this isn't a real scale. I'm sure that's not how much she weighs," and it was just like
nobody else stood on it.
I was so embarrassed, Yeah, and I'm sure they probably did, but it was just like, why did I step on it? It was like, that's stupid. But yeah, it was just crazy. Because like I said, you look back at pictures and you're like, wow, like I wasn't. Right? Like, why were they so mean to me? It's like, why are you such a jerk to people? Because, it's like, till to this day, it's always like, okay, like,
who has the energy to be mean like that?
And and I don't get it. And it's like, what's the point?
Middle schoolers don't understand how intense bullying can affect a person. Like, it probably has affected your self-esteem for the rest of your life from that moment, and they just they don't get it. Like, I see it happening at school, and I'm like, this is something that will travel with this person forever. Yeah. Like, why are you being so mean? And my thing I always preach, I'm like, just be a good person. Because they don't really have an argument to that, because they don't want to, Yeah. Because some things they'll be like, I don't care. And I'm like, can you not just be a good person? Yeah. Like, why do you have to be mean and nasty for? Yeah. And... It's one of those things. It's like when you watch movies and they're like, high school is so drama and da-da-da. Yeah. It's like, no, that was middle school for me. Like, I didn't have a problem in high school. But I liked high school. I think that's part of the reason why I just like to blend in. Like, I don't want to stand out. Like, I've never thought that, I don't think I'm ugly, but I've never thought that, like, I'm so beautiful or, like, my body is so great. It's like, so even, like, when I've had guys be, I'm like, who? Yeah. Me? What? Why? It's just kind of that weird, so it's like that. Maybe that's probably too, like, why I'm more, like, modest with like, when I dress and stuff. It's, it's just, like, I just don't feel like I'm sexy. Like, why? Aww. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, why would, but that's too, that it's, it's hard. It's, like, coming back, from having a baby and everything. And it's, like, getting there, but everything's just in weird spots now. It's, like, I'm close to my pre-baby weight, but why not feel the same? Different. Yeah. It's so weird. So my last deep question was about, are you strong? It can be a yes or no question, or answer to that one. And then what you think makes a person strong.
So am I strong? I would have used to say so. My back's kind of weak. I've had some
you have fallen down the stairs like 100 times now.
I've had some crazy trauma with my back in my life.
It's crazy.
So that kind of,
every time you texted us that you fell down the stairs, I'd kind of be like, oh, Tristy, like, what are you doing?
I don't even know. Yeah. So ever since, it's like, I hurt my back, like when Logan was a baby, I hurt it working. Lifting something ridiculously heavy. Yeah. And so, ever since then, it's like, I'm not, as physically strong as I was. But man, I got to a point where I was feeling good and feeling like super, look at this, yeah. But
how old were you when that happened? When you were feeling that?
That was just a few years ago. What was that?
After married? Before Emmer?
It was before Emmerich, yeah. So it was probably like 2018, 19?
Yeah, you could get back to that.
You know, like I worked.
That's not that long ago.
I know. It wasn't 2018, 2019, somewhere around there that we got the membership to the Y, and I lost like 20 pounds. And
so when you think of the word strong, you think physically?
Mm-hmm. Well, that I thought both physically and mentally. So I was like, there was my physical, my mentally. I feel like I'm mentally strong. I don't. I feel like it's kind of that, to me, when I think of that, it's like an independent person, and I feel like I'm very independent. Yeah. Like I've never had, I shouldn't say never, but I'm not codependent in a sense that I have to be, rely on someone else and for whatever reason that is. But if someone is there, then I'll accept it and I want it, but I don't need it. I can, mentally get through on my own and do what I need to do. I definitely think of that
with strength. One of my first things I think is that independence and not relying on anybody else.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
Yeah. So
I hate when I have to rely on other people. Right. It makes me so weak. It really does. Yeah. So we've hit our hour now of talking about Tristy. Anything you want to ask me?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maddie, since she was so nervous about the questions, I said, okay, you can hit me with one, but it was about my dream life, and I think about it every day, so I'm like, I got you. I'm ready for this question.
Well, and you keep saying dreams, so then I mentally think of dreams. So it's like I have a lot of reoccurring dreams.
Yeah.
And then I've also, you talked about animals. I had a reoccurring dream since I'm a child, since probably kindergarten, where a bear is chasing me, and everything's in slow-mo.
Okay.
Me and the bear are
you
both
in the woods?
in slow. We're in like a field.
Okay.
Like
any dream interpreters out there listening?
I don't know.
Let us know what this means.
It's weird, and it's slow motion. Like,
have you Googled?
I cannot run,
but the bear's slow mo too.
Sometimes it's really fast, where it's like it's just there, and then it's just there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you can't see it run, but it's just there. Isn't that weird?
Yeah. Has he ever caught you?
No.
Is it a brown bear?
Yeah. Brown or black?
Yeah. Dark?
Yeah, dark.
Is it huge?
It's dark, yeah. I'm like 5 years old, I'm pretty sure, when I was like first started having these dreams. Because we lived in Virginia. So I was in like preschool or kindergarten.
We are going to Google this one. We'll update you guys on what we find after we Google this. Because we have to know what that means. Being chased by a bear.
Right.
Oh, how often do you have this dream?
I don't know.
Like once a year or?
No, probably not that. No, probably
even,
not even that often. Really.
But you've
it's
had
just kind of those random, like
a handful of times.
When I get like into a super deep sleep, I bet that it just kind of like pops up and it's just
We're
there.
We're gonna Google this. We'll get back to that.
So weird. And like my deja vu dreams, like I'll be deja vu and I'm like, I think I dreamt this a few weeks ago, guys.
I'll hit deja vu, but it's not from a dream or anything.
So weird.
Like I remember one time when I was little trying to explain to my parents that I had deja vu because I was like, have we ever been on this road? And they're like, no, we haven't. And I said, that house, like, I could draw that for you. Like, that I know exactly that house. And they explained to me that it was deja vu. I'm like, it hit hard.
Weird. Yeah.
So weird.
Man.
Crazy. All right, well.
Okay.
I think that wraps us up. Anything else you want to add?
No, I don't think so.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for listening. Oh, wait. I have one more question that I want to know the answer to.
Okay.
Advice for your previous self. If you could give yourself advice with some earlier point in your life, you choose the point, and what would that be? I forgot I wanted to know the answer to this one.
Okay. I could give myself advice.
Like Maddie's was don't follow boys. Like,
right.
Yeah. I think that's a big one. But you had boy follow you.
Yeah. So. Yeah. I had a boy follow me, and then it was kind of...
Sometimes I wonder if I followed Cody to college. I just loved Pitt State.
Yeah.
Like, glad I went.
Yeah.
But sometimes I'm like, did I do that?
Well, that's something, it's because we got engaged the summer before I went to college. So,
you're so young.
I wish that's probably the one thing is that I would have said no. Yeah. Like either like sometimes I'm like, don't go to college in a relationship, like, but just at least don't be engaged to go to college,
Yeah, it's so young.
Yeah, it is so young. And then I was coming back every other weekend, and so I wasn't immersing myself in the college life, other than then it was like, then I met people and just, but that didn't start until after we had split up. But yeah,
that's
like,
good advice.
Don't be in a serious relationship,
a high school relationship might not last.
Well, yeah, but it's like, I mean, when I think back, I'm like, gosh, 18 and be engaged, like,
it's
that's
so
crazy.
early. Yeah.
It is. You're so young.
Like, we hope that our
so
kids don't do that
you.
because there's so much to learn. Like, you're still,
Mm-hmm.
you think you know it all.
Yeah.
I definitely thought I knew it all.
Absolutely.
God.
You feel like you're so, so old and so mature and such
you're an adult now. Yeah. No, adult gets harder, guys, if you're listening.
And then it's like,
even from 20s, like, you know, it just, I don't know.
But yeah,
that's
just to at least
advice.
not immerse myself in that, like, to be able to just experience life and, like, not be so caught up in,
solid advice. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
All right, guys. Well, I think that wraps us up. Thank you for listening. And it's been good. It's been growing through your 30s.
Bye.
Bye.